Hold on tight because the brand new Zootopia 2 trailer has just been released and it is already packed with new surprises. Did you catch all the little details that will be in the movie? At one moment in the trailer, the elite officer, who is a wild boar, is looking toward the top of a mountain. He looks irritated, but when the scene cuts, we see our heroes. They were hiding and looked very worried. And if you pay close attention to the background, you will notice that there are several characters running away. Which means someone, probably the boar officer and his squad, entered this restaurant full of reptiles. And everyone is scared because they are going to be arrested. Or even worse, they might get attacked because nobody likes reptiles in Zootopia. Will that really happen? We will find out when the movie hits theaters. So grab your popcorn and get comfy on the couch. Another Cinewave is starting. A detail that almost everybody ignored happens in a scene with Gary. The blue snake is looking at us, but it is not exactly a moment from the story, because there is a black background behind him. The detail is that another snake tail appears pulling Gary's neck. It is almost like the trailer is telling us that there is another snake identical to Gary. This scene would not make sense if it was Gary pulling himself, so could it be that the snake has an evil twin sister? That actually makes sense because in the official image, the snake uses her body to form the number 2. And that is not a clue about the second movie, but a clue that there are 2 snakes. Creepy, right? You already know that Zootopia 2 will feature a huge party celebrating the city's 100 years, and Gary will break into the event to cause major chaos. The first trailer showed that the snake will steal a book, and now we can see him from another angle. However, a brand new detail is that Gary is also going to kidnap a character who shows up wrapped around the snake's body. We can tell by the shape that we are talking about a lynx, and it makes total sense because the place where the party happens is the lynx's mansion, and from what everything indicates, they are the villains of the story. When the characters are running away from the party, we see that Gary falls in the snow and someone kidnaps him. Wow, it seems like this movie will have a lot of characters being kidnapped. Although, pay attention to the motorcycle of the character who grabs Gary and takes him far away from the party. It is a red motorcycle, and beside it, there is a sidecar, which, for those who do not know, is an extra seat with wheels used to carry someone next to a motorcycle. And the trailer itself reveals who the kidnapper is. In the desert scene, we see a lynx beside Judy and Gary, and if you look closely, the snake is on the same red seat that is attached to the motorcycle. Which means that one of the members of Judy's group will be a lynx. This character's name is Paubert Lynxley, and he must be the son of the leader of the lynx family. And if you are wondering who that family is, here is the answer. The lynxes are responsible for creating the climate barrier technology in Zootopia. In other words, if there are forests and deserts inside the same city, it is because the lynxes made that possible. In the same shot, you can see that they are escaping together, but apparently the police always finds our heroes. Want to know how? The answer is right there in the scene. On Paubert's motorcycle handlebars, we see a phone that is definitely his. The police must be tracking him. Although, how has he not noticed that yet? At the beginning of the trailer, we see a curious scene. A folder is opened showing a picture of Gary, saying that he is suspected of something. Right next to it, there is a piece of snakeskin as evidence. That is a police file investigating Gary, and if you look closely at the person holding that folder, you notice it is Judy's hand. That snakeskin must be the same one the bunny grabbed in another moment of the trailer. Based on everything we have seen so far, we know that the moment Judy finds the snakeskin happens before the ballroom scene when Gary shows up. So this police file shows that they already knew there was a snake in the city, and that Gary had committed some crime before crashing the city's party. But what crime was that? That is still a mystery. We know there will be a chase scene against a buffet van, the same buffet that will serve food at the party, but in this new trailer, we see that Judy and Nick are chasing the van at the same time as the city's elite police, the Boars, which means the police already knew everything happening with the conspiracy involving the food vans. Would you like to attend the Zootopia party? Comment #party so we can get to know each other. In the same chase scene, we see that Nick is not wearing glasses, but right after that, he seems to find something under the front seat of the car. And when the scene cuts, he is wearing pink glasses that will show up again later on. When our heroes are at the police chief's office, Nick shows off his new glasses, and they are shaped like a pig. But why would that be important? If you look closely at the pink car that Nick and Judy are using to chase the van, you can see it is also shaped like a pink pig. So if we combine that with the pig-shaped glasses, we reach a conclusion. There must be a brand new pig character in this story, and they are probably someone important. Back at the sheriff's office, we see that next to the TV there are some frames, and all of them are awards from the city recognizing the Bull Chief's great work in keeping Zootopia safe. That must be why he is mad at Nick and Judy, since the chief threatens to split the duo up if they fail their mission. The city must be blaming the chief for the fact that snakes are coming back to Zootopia and the city's safety is at risk. But there is a detail that nobody noticed. In the scene at the chief's office, they are watching the car chase footage, and the hippos hit by the spikes are right there inside the room. Although Judy and Nick are wearing different clothes, which means they changed outfits on the same day, were they undercover? Still in the same scene, we see that in front of Judy there are some photos on the desk. We still cannot see what those photos reveal, but they definitely have something to do with the mystery involving the snake conspiracy. After all, we already mentioned that the police chief shows a folder with Gary's photo. Now, a fun detail, in the ballroom scene, we see a lion. And since he is at the Lynx's fancy party, he is probably someone very important. Could he be the former mayor's son? Yet the interesting part is that this lion pops open a champagne bottle and there is a tiny mouse standing on top of it. When the cork pops, the mouse flies off and almost hits Nick in the face. After Gary shows up, chaos begins and everybody starts running away. The horse mayor is one of the ones who flees, but while he runs, one of the guards knocks down one of the dancers. That dancer almost falls right on top of Gazelle, a character voiced by the singer Shakira. A little further in, we are now in the swamp, which is the city's new zone, and inside the lake there is a hippo getting a tattoo. He is wearing a jacket that says Swamp Market River Hogs. And behind him, there are more hippos wearing the same outfit. They look like a gang. Could they be criminals? If you want to find out, the subscribe button is right there, waiting for you. How about clicking and keeping up with everything we post? A little later in the trailer, we see that Nick is in that reptiles bar. In this scene, two geckos appear clinging to the fox, and one of them says that Nick's fur is warm and cozy. Many reptiles in the real world need heat to survive. Could this be the detail that made the lizards get kicked out of Zootopia? They need warmth, and since mammals do not want reptiles clinging to them, could this be the real reason? Now a cute detail. Do you remember that Mr. Big's daughter, that Mafia Mouse, was getting married in the last movie? And now we see that she has a daughter. We see the new little mouse hugging her grandpa while he explains to Judy and Nick that snakes are dangerous. The scene changes, and in a super quick detail, we see Gary in the snow where he seems to be holding a toy on the tip of his tail, and it is a miniature of himself. Did the snake become famous? A little later, we see several police cars speeding up because an emergency is happening. But in the background, you can notice the horse mayor watching, which means he ordered the police to rush to arrest someone. Speaking of the mayor, he appears again talking to the press, and on the microphone of a reporter, we can see that she works for channel ZNN. This is a reference to a real-life TV network called CNN, and it is a very cool Easter egg. Back at the reptiles bar, we see that in a sign it says Mr. Toads, which is a type of toad. So it is very possible that the owner of the restaurant is a toad, although this character has not shown up in any of the official promotional images yet. At the end of the trailer, we see Flash. That sloth who loves driving fast is back, and she will help our heroes cross the city with her brand new super-powered car. Will Flash outrun the police in a chase scene this time? Now a theory. Do you remember that in the teaser a few months ago there was a hooded villain? Our theory is that this mysterious villain could be the lynx that is accompanying our heroes, Paubert Lynxley. He seems a bit suspicious, don't you think? We will find out everything about this character on November 26th when the movie comes out. But until then, the fun doesn't stop here. There are 2 amazing videos waiting for you on the screen. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.